Hey everyone, come once again. Welcome back to the next movie review, and well, see, this is what this film made me do because I was bored out of my mind watching this film, you know, because it was a boring as shit film. But in my opinion, it was another shitty film from 2024. In my opinion, you know. So the film, I know people like this film. To each their own, you know. I don't hate anybody for liking a film that I don't like. So, but to me, I want to get it though. But to me, it was a boring, shitty movie, and another adaptation that we don't need, you know. So today we're doing of the 2024 reboot or remake or another adaptation of Nosferatu. So Nosferatu, yeah, from 2024. So now Nosferatu, which is based on, well, it's inspired. It's inspired by the story of Dracula from Bram Stoker, right? It's inspired by the story, but they did it's a German version of Dracula. They did their own take from back then, in which they did the original OG silent movie of Nosferatu from 1922, in which I have seen the original OG film, the original 1922 silent film, which I like. Which it was interesting to watch a film from way back then when early movies were coming out and there were silent movies, you know. It was interesting to watch a film that was silent with no sound at all, you know. That made it interesting, and the film was 80 minutes long. It wasn't a over 2 hour movie like this film was. And then there was a 79 version of the film, which honestly I wasn't really big on that movie, but I'd rather watch that than this version. But I'd rather watch the original 1922 version anyway. So, but I think this is the third adaptation of Nosferatu, but it's basically Dracula, but the German version of Dracula. But it's been like another tale like we've seen dozens of times of Dracula. You know, I mean, we had the original with Bela Lugosi, and then of course we had Christopher Lee's version. I think even Franklin Gala played a version of Dracula as well, I think. But I remember it was also Christopher Lee played Dracula plenty of times though. Rest in peace to Christopher Lee, you know. And then of course the other versions, different versions of Dracula, like there was the newer versions like from last year. It was 2023, yeah, where there was The Last Voyage of the Demeanor. Renfield I actually like, because Nicholas played Dracula. He was a lot of fun in that. Oh, which that had Nicholas Hoult in it, and this film also stars Nicholas Hoult as well. Then there was the 2012 film Dracula Untold with Luke Evans, and then from back then, we have other versions of vampires, not just Dracula but vampire films as well, you know. The Lost Boys, Fright Night, From Dusk Till Dawn, Near Dark, other vampire films. I mean, if they tried to do new vampire films today, it would bomb though, because I feel like the new versions of Dracula would have bombed as well. So. But this film just it was just a boring movie, you know. I mean, and it's directed by Robert Eggers, which I'm not a fan of this director. I am not. He directed The Witch, which I always call The Bitch, from A24. And then he also directed the other A24, a film called The Lighthouse with Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe. I do like the black and whiteness of the film, but if you want to see a film where you see Willem Dafoe jacking off, then getting his stuff on Robert Pattinson, yeah, that's a film for you. And they directed the film they directed the film called The Northman, and then this movie, and then his other brothers directed that shitty film which I reviewed called The Front Room. I'm like, first of all, these Eggers brothers, please don't make any more movies, let alone Robert Eggers, and then the other ones who directed. Stop making movies, please. To me, you guys not good as directors, okay? To me, in my opinion, okay? Stop making movies. But this one got a lot of praise from critics. I mean, to me, I don't get it, because to me, it's like this is an umpteenth version we've seen of a version of Dracula. So this film had nothing new, nothing different, nothing that's engaging about it. I don't see it. I don't. I think it's a boring as sin film. And I don't get why this guy keeps on getting jobs, Robert Eggers. I just don't. I'm not a fan of him as a director. I'm not. So him and the cast of the film, you have Nicholas Hoult, which I just mentioned. He was another Dracula film called Renfield, which I did enjoy. Nicolas Cage was a lot of fun, and Nicholas Hoult actually was pretty good in that, though. Him fighting some very bloody fighting action sequences where he's fighting with two severed arms. And then, of course, then it has then also it stars Lily Rose Depp, who's the daughter of Johnny Depp. And then you have Bill Skarsgård as Nosferatu. I'm like, I'm really getting. He's like with these actors like Dwayne Johnson and Pedro Pascal. They keep on appearing in freaking everything nowadays. Bill Skarsgård from Pennywise, the shit movies, and then he was in Barbarian, which is an underwhelming movie for me. And then he started a film called Boy Kills World, which I actually did not mind it because, first of all, he did not talk. That's one thing why I did not mind it. His character, because he didn't talk at all in that movie. And then the shitty Crow remake, John Wick Chapter 4. I'm getting tired of seeing this guy, okay? And little Pedro Pascal, to me, Pedro Pascal is a better actor because I like some of the stuff he's been in, But he's been appearing pretty much also everything also recently, as well. I'm like, just stop. Just stop beer movies, please, Bill Skarsgård. Okay? You're not the same talent as your father, Stellan Skarsgård, okay? To me, Stellan Skarsgård is a much better actor than his son Bill, okay? And I'm not scared of this Nosferatu with his freaking porno mustache. Yeah, that's supposed to be scary about him because he has a mustache. My mustache looks better than this, okay? Because times I could put in a handlebar mustache, but my mustache looks better than his. Hello, if I have the beard out though, which I look freaking scarier than this guy, you see the way I am, I look freaking scarier than this guy. And speaking of, this film's not scary. It wasn't as scary at all. What's so scary? What people think of this movie? What's so scary about the film? Okay, I'm honestly asking, what was so scary about it? I didn't find anything scary about it. And plus, I didn't find the Nosferatu intimidating. Especially it's his mustache that was taking me out of this character. Take his mustache, tear it off, and shove it up his ass. And then you get other cast members. You have Aaron Taylor Johnson, which I just did previously in Kraven the Hunter. Aaron Taylor Johnson. I just did this just previously the Kraven the Hunter, which they both came out almost the exact same time, like a week apart. These two films. And then once again, Willem Dafoe as well. Once again working with Robert Eggers. They did for The Northman. They did for, I think he was in The Northman. Then with The Lighthouse. And Willem Dafoe, he plays this version of Van Helsing. They don't say the name Van Helsing, but he's like the German version of Van Helsing. Oh, and speaking of, also, if I was mentioning another film about Dracula, the 1992 film Dracula with Gary Oldman, the one that Francis Ford Coppola directed. Which, by the way, if I would say yes, okay, Francis Ford Coppola, he's a much bigger piece of shit than Robert Eggers, okay? Because Francis Ford Coppola, which I said before, he defended and supported a piece of shit of a pedophile, Victor Salva, who directed the Jeepers Creepers movies. He defended him, and he defended that sicko pedo. So fuck Francis Ford Coppola. But beside him as a human, as a director, I'm not really big on him though. But I actually did not mind Apocalypse Now. I like The Outsiders. They were before I remember I did. But I thought he did it wonderfully with the way he directed Dracula from 1992. I thought that what he used the direction was handled well, style wise. Of course, has some good makeup and practical effects for the film. Good supporting cast like Gary Oldman, Anthony Hopkins, Keanu Reeves was in it. Although I don't buy Keanu Reeves with an accent, I don't. Yeah, I don't buy Keanu Reeves with an accent in that film. I don't. But besides Francis Ford Coppola being such a piece of shit, though, I actually liked the 1992 version of Dracula. So that's another version of Dracula that's been done before, you know. Because there's so many versions of Dracula has been done before. In the third adaptation of Nosferatu, what is new has been done with this film? I mean, okay, in the 1930s, I think it was 1930. 1830 is when it takes place in Germany, like the tale of Nosferatu is supposed to be. Lily Rose Depp. There's not much to her character, other the fact though that she just pretty much most of the movie she has freaking seizures in her eye, like, you know, that go all the way back, you know. She pretty much has seizures. We see him every time, pretty much on every screen. She has seizure after seizure after seizure. So, but she's married to Nicholas Hoult. And Nicholas Hoult, you know, he goes to this town, which these people, when they mention the name, they freak out. You know, Count Orlok. That's Nosferatu. And Orlok, you know, he's basically, you know, because he cusses, Nicholas Hoult cusses time, and then Orlok, he wants his blood, starts sucking him. Why don't you start sucking him too? Because there's a point where Nicholas Hoult wants to kill him, he's in his coffin, and he's pretty much Orlok seduces Nicholas Hoult and pretty much looked like he was right about to frickin' hump his ass, or we should say fuck his ass, you know. I'm like, well, because I know it takes to the play, like the whole thing of Dracula, or, you know, pretty much, but mostly to women. They're like how when biting someone, it's like the whole culture of like, you know, biting someone's kind of way of seduction or sexual assault, right? I mean, we've seen that, you know, we've seen that done before. I mean, in Fright Night with Chris Sarandon, you know, as Mr. Dandridge, how he seduces Amanda Bierce, Amy, you know, how way he bites her, you know, seducing Amy, and before biting her, right? It's kind of like in that sort of way, or in The Lost Boys, where with Jason Patrick and Jamie Gertz, right, when you have that montage of playing, you know, of the song of Cry Little Sister playing, because when Jason Patrick drank the blood, you know, and then the stuff that happens, you know. So, and then of course, then with Bela, the original Bela Lugosi, you know, how using his, you know, to seduce the women before he does the suck, you know. So it falls. I get that you're trying to do that nature of like when buying someone, it's a way of like a sexual seduction or desire, or a little sexual assault, you know. So I'm like, but just why this version of Nosferatu? Why don't you just fuck them both and get it over with? You know, both Lily Rose Depp and Nicholas Hoult. Because it's like we did with Nicholas Hoult, was like, why don't you just it was looked like he was gonna hump his ass. And why just go the whole extra mile and get it over with already? And Lily Rose Depp, she's just having seizure after seizure, and with Nicholas Hoult, he keeps having these nightmares, seeing someone getting staked, and then with Willem Dafoe, he's the version of the other version of Van Helsing, and then with Aaron Taylor Johnson comes in, he's talking with him. And this with the direction, like I mentioned, for especially the 1992 Dracula film, the direction in this film was this blasé, you can say. I mean, the only good part when I reviewed the first trailer when it came out, I mentioned that the only good shot it looks like from that trailer was the shadow of the hand going over the town. It's the same thing here. The only good looking shot from this movie was the shadow of the hand going over the town. So I was right in when I did the video of the trailer, and same thing with here, because nothing else in the direction of this film seemed so. Oh wow, that's a good looking shot, No, it wasn't. The rest of the film was just. The directing of the film that can't work was just blasé. So. And like I said, I can't take this Nosferatu, this Count Orlok seriously with his freaking porno mustache, Like I said, I got a better mustache than this guy, And plus, I'm just tired of seeing Bill Skarsgard in everything I'm seeing him, I mean, the only character I didn't mind him when he was in Boy Kills World because his character didn't talk. That's why I could put up with his character in that movie. So, like I said, Nicholas Hoult, he's having these nightmares, like I said. He tries to kill Orlok, but no. He gets subdued, and then Orlok, he summons this plague of rats, which I said before, it looks like they use real rats, not CGI. There's this boat that comes with all these bodies, this plague spreads across this town, people are getting sick, and wondering how they're going to stop it. First of all, how is Orlok going to stop this plague anyway? He tells Lily Rose Depp because, you marry me, and then if you don't, your husband will die, and everyone else will die from this plague. And then Lily Rose Depp, when she's not stopped having any seizures, she gets the idea where she going to do the self-sacrifice. And then we see more with Aaron Taylor Johnson and Willem Dafoe. Willem Dafoe is telling Lily Rose Depp to don't do it, but he does Nicholas Hoult's going to try to stop her, and it pretty much follows the same thing. Pretty much 80% of the movie, or 85% to be fair, it just follows the same plot of the original. Except for adding in the plague, and then I think Nicholas Hoult having nightmares. I think that was different. And the film did not need to be over 2 hours long. Okay, like every other movie every other film nowadays, it always have to be over 2 hours long. Like I said, the original Nosferatu from 1922, that was about 80 minutes long, and did not need to be 2 hours. Not every film. Why is every film nowadays has to be over 2 hours long? Let alone that, But if people like this film, then okay, it's fine. I don't hold anybody who likes this film. I don't. I respect people's opinions, but in my opinion, this film sucks. It's boring. It's a boring film. I don't care about the characters. I mean, though, it's a story we've told about Dracula pretty much done a dozen times. And like I said, we've seen before from the original Nosferatu, even the 79 remake as well. Oh, I forgot to mention another vampire film. I was part with what I said. I was like, where's Abraham Lincoln? Because, yeah, I mentioned that because we have Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. But to me, that's To me, I rather watch Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter over this, because at least we get to see a president, a 16th president, get to kill vampires. I know it's based on the book, but at least we got to see our 16th president get to kill vampires. And let alone the song "Powerless" by Linkin Park that played at the end of that movie, which I really do enjoy that song. I do. I think that's become one of my favorite songs. I really enjoy "Powerless" from Linkin Park. That was played at the end of Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Powerless. Much better song. Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Yeah, it's a bunch of there's CGI green screen, especially in the third act on the train. On one of the train, it's a whole green screen. And CGI blood as well, though, too, as well. But I'd rather watch Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. I mean, it doesn't. Granted, it doesn't follow the concept of Dracula. Dracula's not in this, but it's a vampire film I'd rather watch than this Nosferatu. I'm like, can Abraham Lincoln go and just travel to Germany with his axe and then just go and just chop Nosferatu's head off, please? So yeah. And then by the end, when she does the self-sacrifice, and then ends with with Aaron Taylor Johnson, because he got sick and because Nosferatu, he kills Aaron Taylor Johnson's wife pretty much off screen, some kids off screen. He finally does something, but a lot of it is off screen. And then when Aaron Taylor Johnson, he goes to his wife's grave, pretty much wants to dead fuck her body, and then he dies on her grave. Pretty much want to dead fuck her dead body. And then, like I said, then it ended with Nosferatu. The sun comes up, he dies, just like how it was in the original. So, this film didn't bring anything new to the table. Not scary at all. Now, speaking of, what do I think? There's other films I don't like. I mean, there was Vampire in Brooklyn with Eddie Murphy. I did not like that film. I did not. Or if I want to watch a funny version of Dracula, I'd rather watch Dracula Dead and Loving It. The last one that Mel Brooks directed, starring Leslie Nielsen, where he plays Dracula. If I want to watch a funny comedy version of Dracula, I'd rather watch that film, Dracula Dead and Loving It. Because I enjoy Leslie Nielsen, I like Mel Brooks as a director. I'd rather watch that film than this. Vampire Brooklyn sucks. It does. Or I'd rather watch John Carpenter's Vampires with James Woods. That's a vampire film, another one I like from John Carpenter, and stars James Woods. But other adaptations, like all we see we see is Lily Rose Depp having seizure to seizure, waiting for her to pretty much get fucked by Nosferatu. Nicholas Hoult, I mean, he's there, but it's like he has nightmares that will look like he was ready to get butt fucked by Nosferatu in that moment. I mean, Willem Dafoe and Aaron Taylor Johnson, anybody could play those roles. Like I said, Bill Skarsgard, I'm tired of seeing him and everything. I really am tired of seeing him. Like I said, he wasn't intimidating with that freaking porno mustache that he has. Like I said, my mustache, along with this beard I have. Which, by the way, the next time you see me after this, when this video has been done, after this beard will be gone, though. So, but the point is, though, I'm much more scarier looking than this Nosferatu, you know? So, and it's like, I just, there's other versions of adaptations, like, I know it's not an adaptation though, but a different take on a Universal monster. The Invisible Man from 2020. There's a prime example because it takes it like from the person who is like being sexually assaulted, who is a victim like of that from abusive, but not abusive though because the Nosferatu is not abusive, but just like from being a victim of that nature. I think that the Invisible Man was like that, played that take on perfectly, you know? I mean, because like you said, with Elizabeth Moss, I thought she did, first of all, she did a good job in that film, and Leigh Whannell did a good job with that, directing that film. Leigh Whannell, who played Adam from the first Saw film, he directed that film, he did a good job with that film. Like, Elizabeth Moss's character, how she was in a very abusive relationship, she wanted to get away from him, he won't let her leave. It's like away, like Nosferatu, she will not get away. Lily Rose Depp will not get away from her. He will not let her get away. And then with the whole thing of, you know, instead of like going the typical route, scientist, it's a suit that makes him invisible. It's a suit. And her being so paranoid, like, is he there in the room with her? Is he listening? Or is he not? I thought Elizabeth Moss sold that, you know, being an emotional, being an emotional, emotionally distraught person, a bit of paranoia, always looking around, you know. And I thought that directing was handled well. There's a couple of cool moments of stunt work where she was being thrown around, or her sister, at the restaurant, she looks up, also there's a knife hanging in midair, and then a quick slice of the neck, and then right in her hands, and she gets blamed for it. And then, or some of the third act where he takes out some guards, and then this very satisfying finale where she does get her revenge on him, where she puts on the invisible suit, and she cuts his throat, but it makes it seem like it's a suicide. And she got her revenge, and her cop friend goes along with it because she knows she wanted to kill him. He knows that she killed him because he sees the suit in her bag, knowing that she did it though. But she tells him, "Hey, he killed himself, right?" And he goes along with it. Yeah. So it was a very satisfying ending. I mean, that's a version of a Universal monster. Well, Nosferatu is not though, but Dracula is. But that's a version that I enjoy, that take on that of being a victim better, right? So, and Willem being stalked by a victim. You know, like, it was like also taking a play of sleeping with the enemy with Julia Roberts, right? In that same scenario, you know, abusive relationship, crazy person will not let her go, follows her. It was like kind of take on that way. Like, it's like saying with Visible Man, it was like a version of Sleeping with the Enemy, and also with this version where they tried to be but failed. So, to me, this film sucks, right? Okay? In my opinion, it sucks. I just, you know, it's like if people like this film, cool, okay? I don't hold anybody against for liking anything. You can like whatever you want. You can hate anything you want. It's all subjective, it's your opinion. And in my opinion, this film sucks. Let alone, it sucks. It sucks. Wow, I was gonna make a thing, but I was gonna say this film sucks my nuts. I would say. Yeah, why doesn't this Nosferatu suck these nuts? You know, because if he's willing to look like he's gonna hump Nicholas Hoult, why does he suck these nuts as well? Go the extra mile. Robert Eggers, I'm tired of seeing this guy. It's like with that other direct. It was like with the other director. Aster, that's what he was. The guy who directed Hereditary, Midsommar, Beau Was Afraid, and he also produced that shitty Sasquatch Sunset film. Produced it, not directed though, but that's another guy I'm tired of seeing, you know. And same with this guy, Robert Eggers, or him and his brothers, stop making movies. Go along with Ari Aster, just don't make any more movies, please. But yeah. I mean, this film was 2 hours long. It was boring as shit. You know, Lily Rose Depp. I mean, she was in those shitty Kevin Smith films, Tusk and little Yoga Hosers. Those were shit. I'm sorry. Yeah, wherever you think of Johnny Depp nowadays, but back then, Johnny Depp is still a much better actor than his daughter is. Okay. Nicholas Hoult, Willem Dafoe, Aaron Taylor Johnson, anybody can play those characters they're playing. Bill Skarsgard, please go away. It's like that. It's like that saying, "How can I miss you if you don't go away?" You know, please go away. I mean, the things I just don't get. You know, like how if he started this plague, how would he stop it? What? Because they burn a couple stuff like rats and like that, and it stops and everything's a-okay. That's one thing I just don't get. So that's one point. But I mean, the film it's making some money. You know, overall it's successful. I mean, horror film with 2024 has been good. You know, I mean this film was successful. I mean, Long Legs made money, which I do not like. I think it's overrated. I mean, to me, the best one I've seen was The Substance with Demi Moore. I think Demi Moore knocked it out of the park with that film. You know? I think Demi Moore did a really bang-up job in that film. To me, that's the best horror film I've seen was The Substance. And she won a Golden Globe for that film, which I obviously frankly deserved. You know, I think Demi Moore deserved the Golden Globe. I think she did, yeah. I mean, Sting, that spy film I didn't mind, and a violent nature I did not mind, except the third act though. But overall, I did not mind that film. So, but Long Legs, I think is overrated. There were some other horror films I did not care for either. Did not like either though. But to me, the best one I've seen was The Substance. But there's other ones I still think is better than this though. So I'll just stick to the original. 1922 is much better. And let's say it's not 2 hours long. It was much better paced, you know. I mean, I rather watch other good vampire films as well. I rather watch, like I said, Fright Night, From Dusk Till Dawn, The Lost Boys. I rather watch Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. I would. I'm dead serious. I'm like, where's Abraham Lincoln? Can he just go and cut Nosferatu's head off, please? So, anyway, I'm done now. I'm stopping because otherwise I don't want to make this an hour project. So, but yeah, Nosferatu, another lame adaptation. Well, the OG is better. I wasn't big on the original on the 79 version, but I'd rather watch that than this. Or any versions of Dracula. Or I just rather watch the 2020 remake of The Invisible Man. So, but in my opinion, this film sucks ass. So, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more, and we'll see you next time.